All right, what's going on, everyone? We are live. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. What are we? We are in week 4 of building our new media company, right? So, with that being said, we're going to jump right into it as we, I guess, normally do. Do I have all my stuff in order? I do. And we are going to take a look and jump right in here of our weekly recap to just figure out what we did well in business last week, what we didn't do so well in, learn from our mistakes, all that jazz. So, with that being said, again, quick recap for everything that we're trying to do here in 2025. For our new podcast, The Unconventional Mindset, we want to reach 1,000 downloads or listeners per episode across all the platforms. We want to take our media company, which is Pixel, and we want to reach $3,000 in recurring monthly revenue. And I should say that's excluding the revenue that I'm getting right now for maintaining the existing clients that I already have in the web design development space. We're talking about what we're moving to today, which is our new people that we're going to have in our content creation space, I guess you can say. Anyways, we'll talk more about that later. We want to, of course, monetize our, our podcast YouTube channel and our personal YouTube channel, which is, of course, this YouTube channel that you guys are watching right now. Okay. Last week, what did we get up to? So I'm going to figure out a way how to say this maybe a little bit better. But of course, every week we release a new video, a YouTube video, and we release a newsletter. That's kind of all kind of combined into one, kind of all that content. And so we got that done. Live stream, of course, we do that on Monday as well too. So Monday is always kind of a big day here where we got lots of content that's getting delivered. Then of course, Tuesdays we follow that up with our podcast. So did all that stuff. Creating the shorts for episode 5, that's been on my list for forever to do. I still haven't had the time to get around that. When I say I don't have the time, guys, like this weekend, I worked probably like, I think 20, 22 hours this weekend. So I'm really trying to find the time to get this stuff done. So I need to plan my time better and maybe be a little bit more efficient. But anyways, so I didn't get that done. So that's going to carry over to this week coming up. In-person workshop. We really want to but we want to create a community of people that want to learn how to do podcasting. They want to learn how to grow. Whoops, what did I think I pressed a button? They want to learn how to grow their business or what have you through content and through podcasting. So we want to teach all of that kind of stuff, and we want to figure out how we can make a workshop here at my place or wherever. It doesn't really matter where, but bring in a group of, 10, 15 people, I would imagine, together. And I could do like a half day, full day, whatever it is, kind of seminar or workshop about that. So we're figuring that out, still working on that. And maybe in a week or two, we'll probably maybe talk about it here on the live stream and try to figure out how we can move forward with that and maybe talk about the logistics and all that kind of stuff. Let me move myself out of the way here. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Okay. So, show flow, what I had to do, had to get a show flow for guests that are coming on this week. So we got all that out and we connected with them and we got the show flows to them as well too. So that was done. And of course there was one thing we wanted to do because last week's video was all about kind of weight loss and the new thing that I'm doing or the thing that I'm doing. It's all kind of behind the scenes. I don't think I'm going to be doing very many, fitness type videos because we really want to kind of focus on business, but we got the whole personal trainer scheduled. We got them in. We did the podcast, and that's going to be ready to go for tomorrow, actually. That's kind of what's on tap. So this week's activities, as always, we're going to do a weekly video and newsletter, so that's not changing. There's 2 podcast episodes, 2 people coming into the studio this week to film, so we're going to do that. And, of course, we want to release podcast episode number 6 tomorrow. Still a little bit of work that needs to get done to get that all polished up and ready to go. And with that episode and episode 5 as well, I need to work to make the shorts for those and then have a good batch of content ready to go for me for the month of April. So looking for that. And one thing we're going to work on today is to kind of finalize this new offer that we're working on for Pixel Media and put it up on the website so we have something that people can see and read and just start to learn about more of the stuff that we can do. Because our website right now is a little bit bare. So we want to be able to add those services or that offer to that website. So we're going to work on that today. And yeah, continue working on the in-person workshop. That's going to be kind of this ongoing thing that we're going to work on. Probably to have sometime in the summertime, I would imagine to have a workshop might be a good time. So I'm not sure exactly what the timeline is going to be, but that's kind of what we're thinking about, or what I'm thinking about anyways. Finalize the show flow and questions. Yeah. So the 2 podcasts for next week and 1 in May. I think I made a little bit of, hang on. I think there's a little bit of typo on this one. Let me just get in here. Where do I want to go? Let's just go in here. Just want to make sure I'm right. So this is just 1 podcast. So for podcast scheduled next in May, I should say. Oh, wait. Final show flow code. Oh, I think I just actually copied this over from last week, and I think this is done. If I'm correctly. Yeah, I think that's done. So we could just get rid of that. Okay. Back to... Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay. So yeah, we're filming 2 episodes this week. So we need to... Well, actually, I just came back from doing one this afternoon. So that one's done. And then we have to film another one on Friday. And then we need to edit all of those and have them ready to go by the beginning of the week. At least that's kind of the plan. So probably another busy weekend for me. And there's another podcast coming up in May that I know I need to get the show flow ready and written and ready to go for that. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be working on this coming week. Okay. So analytics. So in our newsletter, we sent out the weight loss newsletter, which was the how I plan to lose 50 pounds in 100 days. So we got -1 subscriber for that one. Otherwise, no new subscribers for the newsletter. So, still a work in progress, figuring out how to create something that people are going to want to actually subscribe to and read. This YouTube channel gained 5 subscribers, an increase of 4.1 watch hours up to 10.3, and a total of 12 likes in total for all the videos. So I figured subscribers and likes and watch hours is probably just a good metric, at least to start with, until we start getting more numbers that we can actually start making some sense of the data. So we're just going to look at the general engagement that people are having with the videos. Yeah, so let's go get full screen that there for a second. So really busy and need to figure out, or still working on being able to make sure that I'm not always working in the business, but I want to make sure I have time to work on the business, which is actively reaching out to people to come on the podcast, reaching out to potential people that might be interested in my services. So that exactly, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I think that's going to be reaching out to people who might be interested in a workshop. So I got to figure out how to do that. And yeah, making those connections basically is what I'm looking for. Okay. So what can we do right now? Or what should we look at right now? Okay. So we went across this document, we were looking at this document last week. Let me just zoom in a little bit here so it might be a little bit easier to see. So this is the new idea that we have here for our new offer and kind of how we want to position Pixel Media. And basically what we're saying here is our mission is to help business owners and professionals turn their expertise into an automated content engine, right? So they can build authority and they attract high value clients and then grow their business. So my ideal client in this scenario is going to be a CEO of a company or an organization that they know that they could be doing better in terms of how much revenue they're generating if they were more engaged in social media. So in order to help them with that, I would like to work with them to help them create content like a podcast where they're talking with people that have gone through a transformation or whatever it is that their service or product is offering, whatever good things come from people using their product, right? And then talking to those people and then creating great podcasts or whatever so that people that are watching that content, they can directly relate to their pain points they're having in their life so they can watch the content and then be able to see themselves get that, result and then touch base with the client and want to work with them, right? So as an example, I was pretty long-winded. So as an example, say it's somebody who is in the fitness industry who helps their clients lose weight, right? So that client, maybe they're really busy with helping people in the gym or whatever the case may be. They don't know how to use social media to increase the amount of people that they're getting into their gym, as an example. So I would work with them to create a podcast where what they can do is every week or once a week, we could release an episode where they're talking to people in their gym who have had success with weight loss. So people that have put on muscle, people that have performed well at a fitness competition, people that have lost 100 pounds, whatever the case may be. Talk to those people and interview those people on this podcast so people can see the transformation they can have from working with that gym or with that trainer. So they would come to the studio once a month, and then we would, like Pixel as a company, we would completely organize all the guests, create all the show flows, whatever. So that busy CEO or business owner or whatever, the gym owner, would come in, do all these interviews, we'd create all this content, and they would have like a whole month's worth of content all packaged and ready to go for them to distribute, or we would even distribute them for them. So, you take a 1 hour long podcast, whatever it is, chop that up into small little clips, and then you could take some of that content and you can put it into, you can transcribe it into words, and you can have blog posts. So and you can have things on LinkedIn, so many different things you can do when you get one piece of nice long form content that really speak to your target audience, right? You're not creating a video just for the sake of creating a video or trying to go viral, which doesn't really match what you're doing to your target market. So this is a really direct, targeted approach to really getting your message out to your key audience and really helping that customer or that client with their conversion. So that's the whole principle behind what it is that I want to do with Pixel. So all that out of the way, we got to figure out how we can turn that into content that we can post on our website to make that offer basically known, right? And for people to understand what that offer is. So we have all this. Yeah. So maybe what we can think about, because if we go to our website, because our website right now is really focused on very specific, do you want a website, or do you want a website? Do you want a podcast? And do you want to start a podcast or create a podcast? So that's not really, like, it's okay, but it's not really solving a problem, right? We want to think in terms of solving a pain point for a client. It's not that a client or a CEO or a business owner, whatever, wants a podcast. They need to know why it's beneficial for them to have a podcast, or what value are they going to be able to bring to their business if they start a podcast. So that's what we want to be able to convey here on our website, right? It's not like turn your voice into a brand. That kind of makes sense, right? But it's not just about building a podcast, right? We have to position ourselves somewhere along the lines of, we're going to help you 5x your business based on creating valuable content that resonates with your audience. Like something like that. Like the user that lands on the website needs to know that that's exactly what we can do for you. That's the value that Pixel is going to provide. The way that we do that through podcasting, like that doesn't really matter in a sense. It's what actionable value is that guy or that client going to get when they come and work with Pixel. So we want to convey that. That's the challenge. So that's what we're going to try to do here over the next, I'd love to get something on the books today, or by the end of the week, but let's see what we can do. And we can at least flush things out here, hopefully on the stream here within an hour or so. Okay. So I think we'll go down here and let's just take a look now. Maybe let's think of the layout of our website and kind of go from there, right? So we have right now, I think we only have basically 2 pages. We have the home page, which is when you click on studio, you just go here. And then we have a learn how to podcast page. And I just kind of threw this up as a just as like a marketing page to see if we're getting any leads that can get through the door here. Because I do have this guidebook that I wrote, which I think needs to be a little bit more prominent. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Yeah. So we have this, and then we have the pricing page, right? And it's basically this here. We need to roll all of this into a different type of service, a different type of offering. Like this is just some kind of thing. I don't think this really helps convey the value. And I think this stuff here that we have, though, of just booking a studio space, because obviously we're not at the price point that we're looking at, about, you know, $5,000 a month for like a recurring partnership. Most people, or a lot of business owners, especially small business owners, are not going to be able to afford that. But if we can, on our website, if we can convey and teach and educate about the benefits of what it would be like to have your own podcast and what value that can drive to your business and how it could drive, you know, clients to your business or customers, whatever. If we can illustrate that, then it's a no-brainer for people. Well, not a no-brainer, but it becomes much easier than for people to just come onto the website, book the studio time, and come in and start to create their own podcast. And we can help them along the way, right? Like, yeah, maybe you're not ready for $5,000 a month, but maybe you're ready to come in for $200-300 a month or whatever. Invest that to get 2 or 3 hours of recording time. Come in and record your stuff, right? So instead of spending the money trying to figure out how to get this all set up in your own office and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think let me just write this down just for a second here before I forget that. So we want to educate people that podcasting has on business and why they should start their own. And so things that they should kind of learn, we'd want to teach them. I guess we can say I think basically we could say we want to teach them how to be consistent and see actual results from their podcast as quickly as possible. Because there's a big statistic out there that, again, I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but you know, most podcasts don't get past 3 episodes, or they quit after 10, or whatever the case may be, or you know, the top whatever podcasts get most of the listeners. So it's kind of like, you know, a business in general where, you know, 9 out of 10 or whatever that famous stat is, businesses fail within the first 5 years. So we want to make sure that we're giving people the skills they need to be successful. Of course, not every single person is going to be 100% successful, but we want to maximize that so that the few people, or like, you know, as an example, we get 100 people that come into the door. They want to kind of learn from us, with us, and then they use our studio to start recording things. But, you know, 10% of them kind of make it to that next level, and then 2% or 1% even get to that really next level where they come and work for us on a monthly basis and we help produce and do all the grunt work and all the difficult work that is involved from actually producing a good quality, high quality and high production show. So we can walk them through those steps, right? So we give them all this kind of value for free up front with the hopes that, you know, we can turn, it's kind of silly, but take those caterpillars and turn them into butterflies, right? In a sense. So that's what we kind of want to do. So let's see what we can do with that. Okay. So we had to teach them to get results as quickly as possible. Let's say the fundamentals. And really about like growth. Hopefully they can grow into becoming a customer, right? And that's just beyond Beyond Studio Space. Okay. So the website, I think we'll need a home page. We need a booking page. And I think we need, I think we need a studio page, which just kind of showcases the studio space, right? We'll say showcases the space. The equipment. And the rental options, I guess, whatever. But we need, so here's where we need, I guess it's the services page, right? And I'm wondering how we need to break that down. Should we even call it services? Do we need to call it something else? Like, well, what else could we call it? Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think of like content production and whatever, right? Because I don't want to say anything specifically as in like this is podcasting and this is the only thing that's available to you. Let me read a little bit what I have here, see if anything comes to mind. So we work with coaches, consultants, professionals. Yeah. So we need to have a really good hook here on the homepage about the problem, right? So let me just, so we need a great hook that highlights either the problem / solution. Which is, of course, something like getting more leads or whatever, right? Build authority. Get leads. Of course, that kind of comes in with content that converts. Yeah, your content production partner. Even that sounds a little bit weird. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the details of the words just quite yet. Okay. Service is the best way. I wonder, I'm just brainstorming words here. It could be process, could be how we work. It could be like results. I'm saying method, but I think process sounds pretty good. I think maybe we might even have a services and process. I think a process page looks pretty good because it can just outline a step-by-step thing of what it is that we do, right? Like step 1, blah, blah, blah. We do the research and we create the show flows and we get the guests and whatever. Step 2, you come in once a month and record everything. Step 3, we edit, produce, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then we release it all, and then the leads roll in, and then every month we learn and we take a step back and we analyze what worked, what didn't work, and we look at the results, and then we wash, rinse, and repeat. Yeah, that's actually really good. So I think we're going to put that as a page on its own. I think that makes the most sense. Kevin, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Happy Monday. How goes business? How's everything going for you? Yeah. So the process sounds good. How we work is kind of like the process. Yeah, results. I wonder. I wonder if like a yeah. I'm thinking testimonies or some way to showcase the results. But I think we can just keep that. I don't think we need an individual page for that yet, especially since we don't have any results that we can go by quick. Oh, but I do have something to say about that actually. So, um, nothing on the website front. Sadly, could use the extra cash because we need a second car. Time's already stretched thin. Yeah, time is. I was saying earlier on the stream that I think I put in like 22 hours this weekend. That's crazy. Yeah, no, it's too bad. Um, yeah, I feel the pain and the pinch, of trying to get those clients and whatever, and trying to get some extra money into the house. But I mean, all I could say is, just try, keep plugging away and keep working at it, and you know, good things come, to those that don't quit, I guess you can say. But or we could look on the bright side is at least you have one car and you're on, a second car. But yeah, no, I hear you. I know my car is getting close to 300,000 kilometers, and I'm not looking forward to when she's not going to be able to run anymore. Hopefully, I still got a lot longer with her, but we'll see. We call her the Silver Avenger. hmm But every once in a while, though, I still try to, whenever I'm online and I see your streams are up there, I love to pop in, just see what you guys are up to, see what you guys are doing. So that's always fun. So that looks like that's going pretty well for you guys, which is really, really cool. Lots of eyeballs on X or Twitter or X. I guess we should just say X now these days. So on the stream, yeah, I was wondering, yeah, no problem at all. It's always great to see what everyone else is doing. It's sometimes you just get so wrapped up in the stuff that you're doing, and you forget there's other people doing stuff as well too. So yeah, so no, it's really cool. It's really cool. So I don't always say hello when I pop in though, but I do pop in from time to time. Yeah. So the crypto stuff is starting to take off. Working to convert that into dollar signs. Yeah, that's that always ends up being the hard part, right? Is how do you finally convert that into dollars? But it's interesting though. I love. Yeah, so those are real dollars, not you Canadian dollars up here. Which I hear you. Oh man, yeah. Don't get me started now and just started thinking about politics, about what our government is doing here in terms of screwing up the relationships between us and you guys in the States. It's so infuriating. It's beyond, like, it's like these politicians do not speak for Canadians. They're so crazy out of touch. It's ridiculous. But anyways, back to the crypto stuff. I love the art stuff though, because it's really, really cool. And one thing, so like my daughter, she's getting really good at art, and she draws stuff that's like crazy. Well, I mean, I think it's crazy. Anyways, but here's as an example. Here's something she gave me for Christmas. I don't know if that's gonna focus. So just like a little pencil sketch or whatever that she did, just kind of alchemist stuff or whatever. But anyways, I think with her, I'm gonna get her into. Well, I'm not getting her into her. She's into it on her own. Just to see if we can turn what she loves doing into some type of business, whether it's sketching, digital art to create stickers, or just something that she can sell online or whatever. So I'm going to walk her through the whole process of figuring out what it is that she wants to do and how she can, turn what she loves to do into something that, converts into that cold hard cash. So yeah, well, thank you. I'll let her know that you said that. I'm sure she'll definitely appreciate that. But yeah, that's the whole thing of business, trying to figure out what's what. So I've been hearing lots of bad shit about Etsy lately. And I know for me, I'm not a big fan of buying shit on Etsy. I don't know what it is, but I just hate the process. And I feel like, I don't know, I just been hearing some videos because I've been looking into it. And then the stuff that pops up in my feed are all these big Etsy people saying how bad it is and how it's gotten really bad, especially for things that of people that plagiarize and steal, where somebody will create something and somebody will come up and just sell it in their store as their own or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough because you want to support just the artists themselves, but you don't want to pay either people that steal or corporations. Like maybe Etsy, they take too much. Maybe they take like 10%. I don't know what their cut is and how they work with their discoverability and everything. So I don't know, but whatever. Because I'm always be completely independent, sell on your own. Don't be reliant on anybody else like Etsy or whatever to manage how you're gonna make money or whatever. But I really don't know. So we'll have to learn about the whole art scene and how things go. And if you have any ideas, I'm sure I'll be asking you, like giving you a phone call for some advice. Okay, so all of that being said, back to the website. Yeah, so we want to keep it simple as well. We don't want to overcomplicate things. Oh, yeah, I was going to say something about not having any testimonials. So I think what I'm going to do is there's two people actually that are really, really interesting use cases of taking them on and bringing them as a free client, basically. I think two people as a free, one or two of them as like a paid, but very highly discounted because I know that they can't afford it. So I want to take these clients on and probably do like 2 or 3 months worth of work with them in this new system and see what we can do in terms of giving them results. And if we can, that'll be like 2 to 4 people that we can have on the website as testimonials, and that can give us video testimonials, all that kind of stuff that we can throw on the website here by midsummer or whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm really hoping to do. So it's going to suck in the sense that it's going to be some free work or some really lower paying work that I'm going to have to do. But sometimes you just got to bite the bullet or whatever. So I just got to make sure I can still put food on the table while this is all happening. So yeah, because it's going to take a lot to do all this kind of stuff for clients. So maybe I could only probably actually handle just doing it for one for free. And if I can get someone else, if I can get someone else as a paid client, I'm really going to start looking into having to hire somebody, because I'll definitely need an editor, because it's too, I literally do not have enough time in the day. If I was even working for 16 hours straight, I just can't get all this stuff done. It's too much. Okay. Anyways, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's stick with one thing at a time. Okay. I think, we have the homepage. And what do we have on the homepage? Okay. Well, obviously we have the hero section. And then I think, let's go back here. So this is just create a podcast you can be proud of. I think what we need to do is we just need to give a value proposition. Why you need this. And again, frame it in the way of what is potentially lacking in your business, or are you having a hard time creating consistent content, growing your brand, growing your authority in your niche? That's what we help with. Authority, consistency, and of course growth. And then a little bit, I think, you think of the value proposition, what your problem is, how we help you solve that problem. And then we could turn into, maybe you can go a a little bit into the why, or sorry, into the how, and we could do, so Jay, maybe just like a process overview, and then that links to like the full process page. And then what do we do from there? And then we could even just talk about the studio space. Right? We want to guide the reader through that journey, right? On the website. You know, here's your value proposition. Is even the hero section, is there a specific term for what to call? You know, like this, turn your voice into a brand and then grow your podcast into the next big thing with Pixel. Is that just like, what is that called for, you know, traditional websites that have that, like 99%, right? I know it's the hero section, but is it like the value proposition, or is there a technical term for that? Because I have to remember too, I think I'm dealing with two audiences. Well, I don't know if this is the right way to think about this. But again, from what I was saying at the start, there's the people that are never going to be able to, or not never, but they can't afford to hire me on as the person that'll produce their whole podcast, all that kind of stuff. But they could be clients because they want to get to that point, or they want to even come in and just book the studio for $100 an hour or whatever, record their stuff and be on their way. So there's that person to keep in mind, but then it's the person, that's going to grow into the potential client. So I think we really need to frame everything in the framework of of this is why you need to have, or why you need to create content and how you can use it to grow your business. I think everything needs to be in that lens. So always, I think I wrote that probably above too. Always through the lens, but I'll write it again, of why you need to be, not why, the value of creating, I'll say authentic content too, just throw that in there, authentic content. Lens of the value of creating authentic content and how that, that connects and grows your audience, authority, audience, and this is really bad, but it gets you higher quality leads, right? Because they resonate more, gets you high quality leads, and / make more money. That's at the end of the day, right? Make more money. Okay, that's very, not said elegantly at all, but that's the process. So that's the lens. That's what we want. So whether you're a new entrepreneur or you're a CEO of like a 7-figure company that doesn't have time to do all this kind of stuff, or they don't have the capacity in-house, which most people won't, because to do this podcast, like, I don't know if, anyways, even for me, you need an editor for one. You need someone that's, you could even need like a lighting videographer, cinematographer kind of person. So, and then you're also going to need someone that's good at social media and the tech side of stuff. And, well, maybe that's it. Maybe a writer. You might want to have like a writer or a communication person that knows how to structure a good show and all that kind of stuff. So you need like a good team of people, of 3-4 people, to be able to pull off a good show. So, yeah, so it's expensive. It's expensive. Are you going to hire out a whole team at $200,000, $300,000 a year to do this? Or are you going to come work with Pixel and pay $5,000 a month for it? So if we can really showcase that working with us will help you, whatever, 2x your revenue or whatever the case may be, or increase leads by this many amount, and we can have those testimonials oh man, this business is going to take off. So, so yeah, I'm excited. And I feel like it's much more involved of just, sorry, I'm totally rambling here now, than, hey, just come for Pixel and I'll just build you a website, right? Like, unless you have some kind of differentiator, like everyone can go to some place to build a website, right? So, and I think that's one thing I never framed my websites of, hey, by working with me, I will X amount your revenue or whatever. And I've never been, like, that's never been what I've wanted to do with building a website, right? I've always, like, for me anyways, it's just designed better, it's better UI or whatever, but it's not about like guaranteeing that kind of connection with your audience. So that's why I like this better. And then I could always backdoor websites after this, which is what's so beautiful and why I love this angle so much more. If people come to me and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're getting more people coming into our website or whatever, but we're not converting. We're getting the leads, but we're not converting. Then it's like, oh, well, what's wrong with your website? Maybe we need to completely overhaul your website and rearrange that. Now I can hire a web designer to do all that kind of stuff, and that can all be done on the back end, right? So, so I'm pumped. We're gonna see what happens here over this whole rest of the year, basically. But I'm excited at the possibilities. So I think I'm really loving this angle, but we really need to figure out how to kind of nail down this language. Without also not spending a lot of time on this. At least I want to have something, get it out there, and then use that to get the first couple people. Maybe one free and one paid. Maybe that's what I'll do, because I'm thinking the price is $5,000, so maybe I can do it for half price for a client that I know that could afford it, and then do it for free for someone that I know can't afford it, or maybe even like a 90% discount or something like that. I don't know. Maybe get them to have at least a little bit of skin in the game, so that I don't feel like I'm wasting my time and that they don't have to do anything. So maybe that makes the most sense. We'll figure it out. But if I get this stuff on the website in the next few days, then I'm going to use that to start to reach out to a couple people and see what they say. And I'll probably touch base with you guys next week to see how that's going. So, you know, putting the money where the mouth is, I guess, really getting the stuff out here as quickly as possible. Okay. So anyways, homepage, value proposition in the hero section, whatever it's called. I see the hero section, then I feel like then it's like the value proposition, then it's something about always fill out your bucket with high quality leads, whatever, like never get lost again. Like, oh yeah, always, yeah, something like that. Anyways, my words, okay, we're gonna have to figure that out. But something here along the lines of making sure that you're always getting high quality leads through your sales funnel, or never make sure your sales funnel runs dry, or whatever the case may be. Blah, blah, blah. We'll just do a little bit of talk about that. And then we'll scroll down to how we actually do that, right? Oh, you want to always get people coming into your sales funnel? Oh, well, this is what we do. Well, we'll work with you to create this content. Number one, we source your ideal clients and ideal customers, and we create content around them, or we do the show notes and all that stuff. You come in once a month, and then we record all the content, and then we post it all, and then boom, results, right? And then it's like, okay, well, here's the studio that we have as well too. And then, and that's probably and that's it. I think that's those three sections. And then obviously, once we get to the testimonials will either be below, or I'll have their own testimonial / results page. Yeah, I think I'm liking this. I think this makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, makes a whole lot of sense. Okay. So services. So this is where I just don't quite know how to break this down. Because we have to, let's write things down. Okay. So there's two things. There's just a studio rental. And should that be separate? Because there's a studio rental, and then there's the done for you content creation. Whatever that's called, that's what it is now. I don't have a fancy name for what that should be called, but so those are the two services, right? And this is the $5K monthly, and this is $100 an hour. okay, what I'm thinking right now, maybe you guys can help me out with this, but does this studio tab, so when you're on here, you click on studio, this just takes you to the home page, but I'm going to have better images. I'm going to take much better images of the studio and have more of a just nice page, just showcasing all the different equipment and all that kind of stuff, all the gear. So we're going to have that in the studio, and it's going to talk about all the different, I think we have it. Oh, I think it's on here. Like all the different equipment, like all this stuff. We'll have it nicely done up on the studio page. But should that be just the page where you go to book the studio? Oh, hang on a second. Or do we incorporate it because that studio rental is like a service? Like, I guess I'm not making sense here. Let me see if I can make sense of this. So we have the studio rental and the done for you service, but the done for you service is also in the same studio, at least right now. So, but do I need to make that distinction? Does it matter? Should the studio tab just be for the book the studio, and then the service tab just be for like, this is the service that we offer? I guess that's where, and then on the services page, there's no place on there really to book studio time. I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking of, how to separate the two, or where should they go? Because you can have a home page. Okay, I'm looking at the nav. Let's just real quick look at the top navigation, right? So we'll have studio, services, process, and then the call to action. Then it could be, well, there could be book, like book now. But do we also need another one for like the done for you service, right? Yeah, I wonder. Because the book now would be for book studio time. So there could be book studio, but what do we do something else for, like, you know, like hire us, or like, do we need two call to action buttons here on the top? Let's just go here. See how there's book now? Should there be another button here that's whatever the, like, this service is going to be, right? The done for you service. I don't know. I think this is going to be for the future, but I'll just throw it in right now. Maybe we don't need this. Maybe this comes. Oh, geez. Yeah, I don't know. And what I do want to have as well. Now I'm starting to think a little bit more of other things that we need. So we're talking about education. So we're definitely going to have a resources tab as well. So let me put this in here. Resources. And what we're going to have here is, I think there's going to be blog. And I don't know if I'm actually going to call it blog, but whatever. And maybe some guides, because I have the guidebook right now. I have the one guidebook, but I'm sure I can make plenty others, and there'll be more stuff that I'll be making as we go on as well, like educational content. And I know for myself, just a little aside here, I haven't given up on this at all in any shape or way or form, but the idea for me about creating courses and actually being able to make money off of them, I've been just doing some reading and some digging into this, and I think it's not going to be valuable for me to try to do anything like that or waste that much time doing or creating a course until like for actually with the idea that I'm going to make a lot of money from it. I don't think it makes any sense until I consistently start getting, like, I would say between like 3,000 and 5,000 views per video. Until I get that, I don't think it makes any sense to, like, say, pour 300 hours in trying to create a course that well done. I think I should stick to blogs and guides, and think of it as in, like, I make like almost chapters of a course that I can put in for these guys for free, or like the workshops that I want to run, and then eventually I can stick that all together into some type of course once I start getting some traction. But then we'll have to see even how the business is doing on its own with doing other stuff as well too. So, but I do want education to be a huge part. I want to give, Rolando's not here, so he's not going to yell at me. I do want to give a lot of that value away for free. Because yeah, I don't know. I just even the conversation I had today with the guest for the podcast, just such a good conversation about just working hard, but then creating something that, like, other people value, and just creating value for other people. And there are times when people don't have the opportunity or the right knowledge to be able to do the things that they might want to do, and maybe don't have the resources to be able to pay for things. So if I can give it away for free and I can help somebody do something that can help, other people, then I'm all for that. So, but anyways, yeah, excited to release the podcast episode. Yeah, it's going to be good. We got 3 coming up too that are, like, all in a row too, which is really nice. So hopefully I can start getting a lot more consistent in releasing a podcast episode once a week. But I want to be careful too, because I don't want to ask just anybody off the street. I want to make sure that the people are actually going to give a good show as well and deliver value to you guys that are listening to it, of course. Anyways, so yeah, I think we'll just say blogs, guides, and maybe we can say workshops as well too, because if I am going to hold a workshop here at my house, to record it, and then people can just rewatch it or whatever as well too. So yeah, so we need a resources page. And then testimonials. Again, I'm gonna put an asterisk beside this for something that I'm probably going to do in the future. But what I definitely want is I want a video testimonial. Testimonial. If I can spell it right. For each client. And then I want data-driven results to highlight. Like, I don't want this testimonial page or any testimonial to be, oh yeah, it was just really great. I had a fun time. The podcasts are really cool. No. I want, we were able to 237% increase the amount of people that were coming into my store in like 6 months or whatever, right? So I want actual numbers to be able to showcase the benefits of working with me, right? I want it to be, I want it to be so clear cut and obvious to work with us that it takes away the decision from you. Like, for me as an example, if I wanted to, what can I give it a good analogy? I don't know if this is a great analogy, but if someone is trying to figure out which personal trainer they're going to work with, and they come across somebody's site and there's testimonials of these people showing these video clips of these before and after losing hundreds and hundreds of pounds constantly, and just saying, like, I'm going to guarantee you that you're going to lose weight in this amount of time or whatever. Here's like 100 people that I've done it for. And by the way, there's like a 30-day money back guarantee or whatever it is that we're going to get you that result. Like, you'd be stupid not to take it, right? So that's what I want. I want it to be like that. That's my goal, and that's my vision. So, but I think that it's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, That's like the Hormozy book, $100 offers or whatever. It's like you make the offer so good that people are going to be stupid to say no. Let me just write that down. That's probably where I got it from. Make it sound like as if I'm so smart, but yeah, no, I'm just stealing from Hormozy. Make the offer so good that people will feel stupid for saying no. Okay. Okay. I think this is a pretty good framework. So we're going to put here, this is where the studio rental comes in. Studio rental, just call to action for that. So we're going to remove that from services because this is just all about the done for you service, right? And if we go up to what we did, yeah, just a rundown of how it works. So I think we can say, I would like for this to be just like a step by step. It's not like walkthrough, but I'll just use that word for now. Of the services we provide. Right, step one. Oh geez, I don't even know what step one. Well, I guess there's different steps. There's the new client step, and then there's the recurring, like this is what we do every month. So let me just break that down. So there's a difference between monthly, like after initial setup, because there's an initial setup that there's going to be with a client, right? That's why I think I have it in the pricing. Yeah, there's a $10,000 like a setup fee because we need to know your market. We need to know who you're trying to serve. We need to know about like the type of person that the CEO is or whoever's going to be in front of the camera. All that kind of stuff needs to kind of get set up, and we need to get to figure that out. We need to figure out how we're going to track the KPIs or whatever it is that we're going to track for our clients to make sure that we know that we're actually delivering value for them. So we got to set that up. So that will be laid out. And then we also then need to lay out how the recurring stuff works in, where that's just basic. We do all the work, right? We go out and get the guests. We do all the show flows. You just come in and like, we'll give that to you to prepare or whatever. You come in for one day. We film all that content. I can just think of in the studio, we got food everywhere, all kinds of stuff. People are just having a good time in the studio, creating some great content, having a good time. And then we edit all that stuff. We schedule it all out to go throughout the whole month in social media. We can interact with the people if they want to, depending on kind of the level of detail that they want and how many people they might have in-house to be able to manage their social media. And yeah, whatever. And then it's at the end of the month, we take a look at the data and we get the results back. And then we have a meeting, like a monthly meeting to recap everything that's gone. And we see how we need to adjust or whatever for the following month and reset the goals and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to outline on the services page. So there's the monthly, and then there's like initial. Well, I'll put this one here. Initial setup process. We could just say how that works. Although I'm not even 100% sure how that's going to work now because I've never done it before. So but I have obviously a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like. But monthly recurring services and how we review and iterate based on data. And that's a pretty big buzzword, I think, now in corporate, I want to say corporate America, corporate whatever, just the corporate world of, data-driven, not data-driven results, but data-driven decisions that you want to make in the entrepreneurial space. Yeah. Okay. I think this looks pretty good for a website. Oh, wait, shit. Hang on a second. Oh. Is this in the process? Hang on a second. I don't think I have this in the right spot, right? Should it all be on one page? That's a question. Yeah, does it make sense to go and just list off all of the services? Like as an example, let's just take a breakdown. So like what would the services be? Like a service would be like blog post writing, social media post writing, YouTube short creation, podcast distribution, podcast editing and planning, creating show notes, branding, video branding, animations. Do we want to list out that? Because again, that I think takes away, like, who cares about all that shit, right? The client doesn't care about that. They don't care what cameras we have. They don't care the lights. They don't care about any of that shit. They care about results. What results can we give them? So does it make sense to break down like all the little, does it make sense to break down how we're going to get those results on like a services page? Like I'm trying to think of it like as a web, if it was a web designer website, you know, you have services listed as, oh, well, we do SEO and we do content marketing, or we do Google ads, and we do like whatever, like all just whatever services you might do for a website. But in a vacuum, what is that? That doesn't really mean anything, right? Well, I mean, it does, but I think you I think you know what I mean. What I'm trying to get at here is how does that relate to the overall goal of what the client wants? Yeah, so I'm just going to write this down here. So I don't want to have a generic, let's say, services page. So that just lists off the things that we do that the customer doesn't care about. They care about results. How am I going to help them get more business at the end of the day? So then like the process needs to illustrate this. I think, and so does the service. But then really, then the services really becomes, that's kind of like what the homepage is though, right? It's almost, because this process is like how we work, and maybe this is like what we do. I'm just trying to see if that makes if that clears it up a little bit. So the process is how we work. Yeah, this is where this goes into play. Let's paste that there. Whoops. Paste. That helps you, get more business, whatever that's going to look like. Yeah. So done for you content creation that helps you get more business, blah, 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 whatever that's going to be. I think that makes sense. Because whatever's going to be on the below the hero section in the first kind of section of the website, below the fold, if you will, that's going to have information, and there's going to be a button that says learn more about what we do. And that should go to the services page. But I think what we need to do then is, I'm going to write this down here. In each point of service, frame it from the perspective of how that fits in to the overall basically goal of getting the client more business. So instead of saying, let's take an example, like a window cleaner. So instead of saying, we use, state of the art, like wipers or whatever to make your window crystal clean, we say something along the lines of, we ensure 100% vision through your window, like to make sure, like if it's a car window, to make sure you'll never get into an accident, or you can see everything clearly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just, it's almost like a why you're doing what you're doing and how it relates to the goal of the business, or the goal of the client, I should say. Well, I guess it's the goal of the business of what they want to do for the client. Right. So we don't clean windows. We make sure that you have the most amazing view of your backyard because, damn it, you worked so hard to get such a nice house and property. You deserve to be able to see your backyard at its fullest potential, right? Like, it has nothing to do with window cleaning, but it has to do with, giving them the window into their backyard, right? I don't know if that's a good analogy. I think it makes sense to me, but, you're selling the dream, right? You're not selling the thing you're doing. I think it's a really big mind shift that I'm kind of starting to have here in business. It's only taken 2.5 years since we started, but hey. Better late than never. This is why I'm really hopeful that the Benjamins are going to start flowing here pretty soon. Then we could all head down to like Morocco or whatever to go see some F1. That'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, okay. So I like this. I think this, yeah. Okay, so homepage, studio, services, process, resources, testimonials in the future. Let's throw this as an asterisk right here. And yeah, booking and hire page. I'm not sure what that's going to be. F1 not having any races in Africa is sort of a sore topic. Is there no, really? Is that a new thing? Or has it always been like that? This is my whole, I don't know anything about F1. I think maybe I was thinking of a race that they had in like a cartoon show, maybe in Cars. They didn't even go to Morocco either there, did they? Where was it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know F1, so I'm definitely sounding ignorant here in where they go. I know, I think they went to Japan. Yeah, it was Japan, and then it was Italy. Was it Venice even specifically? I don't know where. And then there was one in Britain. Yeah, Cars 2. Or was it Cars 3? I think that was Cars 2. Anyways. With Francesco. Anyways. Okay. But anyways, we'll go wherever there's F1 that makes sense. We're gonna go somewhere, and it'll be great. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's plenty. Don't want to go any. I mean, 6. 6 would be at most. Yeah, and I think we want to, let's make sure we're clear on this one, is like our funnel, right? So who do we want to? So we want to capture people who are interested in learning how to create content that will help excuse me, that will help them grow their audience. Yeah. Yeah. For their business or organization. Yeah. Yeah, so that's top of funnel. And then of those people that are going to learn this, then it's not like we're going to push this, right? But we're going to say, okay, well, you want to have a studio, you want to create a podcast and blah, blah, blah content. So then they can come to our studio to book time. And then if they're serious and they want to escalate, then that's to the done for you service, right? So, okay, what was the reason why I was thinking about this? Yeah, so we need to think about how we're going to capture leads. So we just got to keep that in mind, whether there's going to be something in the hero section that's going to be some call to action of, like, maybe it's going to be, who's the guy? There's a guy that I know. Not that I don't know this person at all, but it's their website. Let me see if I can find it here. Is that his name? Oh, I don't know. It's like a web design. It's like a web designer guy. Oh yeah, that's his name. Yeah, okay. Let's look at this website here just for a second. Oh. Okay. So yeah, so this guy makes YouTube videos. And I think his whole deal is that he helps, well, I think it says here, service-based entrepreneurs get more clients or whatever. So yeah, so why chase clients when they could be chasing you? So like if you're a web designer and you want to figure out how to get more clients, you kind of reach out to this guy. So yeah, I mean, what does he have? Is he getting people to their newsletter? Yeah, he's got his newsletter, so he's going to get people into his funnel. And then I guess you click here. Yeah, it's just like 100% funnel. Yeah. Oh, I hate these long salesy pages, but I guess they work. And if I click here, it just go, okay, yeah, so this is 100% sale. I don't want this to be 100% sales funnel for sure. This is actually really just all about, he really wants your email. It's like everything leads to email. This might use, was this a course? Oh God. Yeah. If you click here, does it just bring you, where does it bring you? Oh, to the buy. Okay, so that's a course. Okay, let's go back. YouTube to client. And this is another course, I guess. Probably. Enroll now. Takes you to the bottom. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to look at this one because From what I remember, yeah, it's not like, hey, build websites and whatever. Because I think he does a really good job of talking about the value that he can provide you, as opposed to these are just the things that I do. I feel like this is a little bit way too salesy for what I would want. Actually, it is. I guarantee you it's way too salesy for what I want. Because I'm more of, yeah. Yeah, definitely not quite what I'm looking for. Okay. But that being said, it is about getting people into the funnel and seeing how we could keep giving them actual. And it's not, again, it's not about that I just want to sell people just for the sake of selling them. Is that sign up if you're actually interested in learning how to do content marketing or generating good, high quality content or making a podcast, whatever, and actually delivering that value to the people that sign up. Like, I'm not trying to sell anything to anybody that they don't want. I don't want to sell anything to anyone that they don't want. I don't know. I think I might set one up. Like, I'm not Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street here trying to sell them dog shit penny stocks, right? Like, I want to actually sell them something that they want. So, yeah. Okay. And if you don't want to learn how to podcast, that's great. Then you're not going to be on my list, right? Like, it's, so I think we need to have some type of, way to get them in. So need something to capture, I'll just say name and email, because we want to, so our goal is to drive as many people to a successful company that can afford our done-for-you service, right? If there's a new car detailing, whatever, shop that opens up, and they know they want to help figure out how they can use social media to help grow their audience and get more, get more business. They sign up for our newsletter or whatever it is, our free webinars or workshops, and then they learn how to create their own podcast, because what all they're doing is they're having great conversations with local people that are car mechanics, car enthusiasts, whatever the case may be, talking about cars and this and that and why they love cars. And then they start creating this content, and then they start realizing that content is helping generate awareness for the work that they do, and people that are generally car enthusiasts are going to be, wanting car detailing or whatever the case may be. So they see an uptick in business, and all of a sudden business is booming. They start hiring more people, and then they get too busy with their business is growing, that they can't handle doing their business and creating all this content, but they know it works. So then they come and they hire us because they learn from us, and then they hire us to help them continue to create that content and even scale it at a speed that they could not have done. Like, that's what we want. Right? So, yeah, anyways, that's it. That's my rant on what we're trying to do. I'm just going to figure out how to make this work. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. I think we just need to figure out just the content and how things are going to play out on the page. But I think we're pretty good. I like this. I think this looks good. I think this is where it's at. Homepage with hero section. And maybe I don't know if there would be even in the hero section, a place to enter your email right away, or if there needs to be something a little bit more like, where's this guy's thing again? Why chase clients? So like the intro could be, want to learn how to get more. Oh, this is ridiculous, right? But want to learn how to, how could I even say? I'm trying to think of something that would be actually reasonable. other than something just like, hey, want to make more money in your business, which of course everyone does, but you know, I don't know if it's like, you know, want to consistently create high converting. So I didn't want to say that, like high converting content. That's so stupid. Like, this is really good here. Why chase clients when they could be chasing you? It's like, yeah, I want clients to knock on my door because I'm the expert. I'm really good. Of course I want that. So I could frame it something like that, where it's, you know, like, want to grow your audience and grow your leads, like in your sleep. I don't know, something. Okay, that's really bad. I gotta figure out how to how to word this in a way that makes sense. But anyways, it's why do that? And I think it's just gonna be like, I think it's just gonna be click here to learn more or whatever, and then just scroll down, like, and then capture email. Like, I don't know exactly where to capture the email, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, it'll be somewhere anyways. Obviously. Okay. All right. So I think this is going to be a good place for me to stop as I'm rambling on here. So I'm going to take this framework that I just outlined of what the new website is going to look like, and I'm going to break that down and try to create some content here rather quickly and get something up so that we can kind of maybe review it next week on Monday and maybe kind of go from there. So yeah. So I think that's going to be yeah, I think that's a good plan. And we also got a whole bunch of podcasts to edit and get done, especially for the one that's due tomorrow. Well, it's due tomorrow. I feel like I'm homework and like, I got something due tomorrow. Better get it done, or else the teacher's gonna I don't have detention. Anyways, so I'm gonna leave it here. Kevin, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Always appreciate it. And you know, thinking about you and wishing you all the success. You know, that I know that you deserve, that your hard work is putting into. So just hang in there, and I know that you're gonna get there. So, because you know, you're doing some really good work. So so just keep it up. All right, that's it for me. Thanks as always for tuning in and showing up. Like the video, I guess, if you like it. And as always, I'll be back here again on Monday for a brand new stream. Have a great week. We'll see you then. You got it. Anytime, man. Take it easy.